Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Stu and this is Nevermore Park for Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic. A large park with a novel transportation system around its edge. Your objective to have 10 different types of roller coasters operating your park, each with a minimum length of just under 4,600 feet and an excitement rating of at least 7.00. So another one of these coaster building challenges then. We like these, we always have fun doing these. So we've already got one built by the looks of it. So what is this? Okay, that looks like a junior coaster. Bugulator 8.23. okay, so that makes things a little easier then, because we've only got 9 to build instead of the 10. We have to build them at least 7. So okay, I'm thinking, why not, since we've got to build 9 coasters instead of 10, and since we've got to get them to be 7, why don't we try and get every one of them to be more exciting than this one? That'll make the challenge, that'll make the scenario a bit more challenging, that'll make it a bit more interesting as well. The only downside to that is, the only thing that might scupper us is that the more coasters we build and the more interactions and things we do with this coaster, it is going to get more exciting. So I think what I'll do is, so let's put the excitement in there. So it's 8.23 exciting. So as long as what we'll do is we'll build the 9 coasters and we'll get them all to be more than 8.23 excitement. If we can do that, then I'll be happy with that. So we've got quite a big park to build in then. By the looks of it, we don't own this section in the middle, which is a shame, because it would be nice to have a nice coaster going across the lake, and also this section here. So we can't, what we sometimes do with these sorts of levels is we'll have a coaster, like usually like a giga coaster or something, going around the outside of the park. It's always quite an easy one to do. We won't be able to do that with this one, because we don't own the park all the way around, and it's probably too big to have it going around the edges and then back around the middle. So let's have a look then. What have we got? We've got free admission, so we're charging for the rides. Let's see what rides we've got then. We've got some transport rides, we've got a good selection of gentle rides, good selection of coasters to begin with. I mean, some of these we probably wouldn't want to use. I mean, we might ordinarily, to give ourselves a bit more of a challenge, but considering I'm going to be going for coasters with more than 8 excitement, I'll probably stick to the usual ones that we do. Good selection of thrill rides, water rides, and a good selection of shops. So yeah, I think I'll probably put my research into roller coasters for now, just to see what else we unlock, because we're probably going to need some profit coasters to put down, so that might be handy. So we'll put some of them down at some point. I think, looking at it, I'm not liking the way the pathing is, and these stations, there's 4 stations for the pre-built coaster. The easy way of telling that is by looking in the ride length and the ride times. You can see 4 different times and 4 different lengths on that. So it's the easy way to see there's 4 stations. I don't like the way these are joined up like that. I'll be wanting to just change them slightly, like change the path color of the exit, things like that, and maybe here have it going straight across to this bit here. Little things like that, just to simplify the path where I can, because the last thing I want is guests getting lost or stuck. Yeah, like by here, maybe I'll go straight on there instead of I'm going up and down here, because up here is a nice space for a coaster, so I don't want to have the path going too close. Yeah, but I think what I'll do then is I'll spend a bit of time doing that, put down a load of shops, a load of flat rides, and whatever else we've got, and just drop them down. Maybe even spend the first year of the game doing that, I'll try not to move the screen around so much because it's probably making people sick, so I'll leave it still. I'll spend maybe the first year or so doing that. It's worthwhile doing as well, because the problem with these parks is that you usually tend to run out of cash early on. Once you get later on, you've got so many coasters, the money will be rolling in, but early on you'll run out of cash, and then you have to fast forward it, and you lose time that way. So it might be worthwhile then just spending a bit of extra time getting the parving right and getting some extra rides down and things like that, so that the guests come in, we start getting some money in, and then when we start building coasters, then it should be a case of just building. We haven't got to worry about the money. It is October year 1, so I've got a load of rides down. I've got a nice food court area there, a load of seating areas down. I'm ramming the prices. I've rammed the prices up. So this one here, charging £10 for that. We're charging £10 for the pre-built coaster. Simplified some of the pathing, added some merchandise. As you can see, there was loads of sick. I'll have to sort the handymen out on that. £5 for the observation tower. Yes, we're just adding quite a few rides around. The guest numbers are starting to rise, so we got quite a few guests in. We got a lot of information kiosks down, £20 umbrellas, so that way when it rains, as you can see, if you look there, for October, the shop sales shot up, and that's because it's rained. So what you lose on the ride tickets, you'll make up for in the shop sales. So that's a good way of boosting the cash, because it doesn't matter on this park if the guests come in, spend their money and go home. We haven't got to worry about guest numbers. We want enough guests in the park that they'll go on the rides and give us money, but we don't need to beat a guest target. We're only interested in building coasters. So let's have a look then. So it was 8.3 to begin with. Just by adjusting the paths, it's already gone up by 0.08. So it's not a huge amount, but at least by making a note of the early value of the first initial value, at least we know we've only got to beat the 8.23, not the 8.31, because by the time we finish building, that could be a lot higher. So yeah, I'm going to start building my first coaster now. We've got a tidy sum of money in the bank, and I'll see you in a bit. It is April year 3. Do not adjust your set. You are looking at a quadruple Mobius Virginia reel, because why not? And this is completely counterintuitive. Normally I would say build the cheapest ones first, and go from there. Build ones with high throughput that you can make a lot of money from. But what I did is I started building one with the intention of building it fairly small, and then later on going back to it and making it longer. But then I just got carried away, and when I first tested it, it only had 6 trains, 6 cars, so that wasn't very good, because 6 doesn't divide by 4, so, and there's 4 stations. So I extended the stations down a bit, which meant having a fiddle with the paths, and these things, the paths are always really tricky. And then when I finally did it, then I had 8 cars. So the 8 cars start off in the first station. So then what you've got to do is you've got to put it on test, and you've got to unclick the synchronize to let 2 off, and then wait till they go around, and then let another 2 off, and then let another 2 off, and eventually then you end up with 2 in each station. So what that means is that if I was to adjust the track, I'd have to do all that again. So as is now, I'm not going to play with this again, but that's fine, because 9.36 excitement for a Virginia reel, which is I'm astounded by that. So it's getting a lot of boosts from scenery and things, and I've recently been reading through Marcel's excitement guide. Now if you use the RCT Reddit, or you've checked out the Discord server that I post the links to underneath the videos, then you already know who Marcel is, and he's posted this very comprehensive guide on how to boost excitement. Things like pathing and track design, and how many drops and scenery and all the rest of it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to I'll have a fiddle with this now, because I want to try and get this higher, because I've had another idea. Rather than just trying to beat this, what I'm thinking now is I'm going to get every single roller coaster that I build over 10. So I reckon I can get this one a bit higher than that. So I'm going to have a play about with it, and then when I come back, then we can have a look at what I've added. Okay, so what I've done then is I've added some extra scenery. So I've added some scenery below the station, and that gives it a boost. I've added some pathing as well, so it gets a boost from the pathing that's adjacent to the station, pathing that's 2 units over, pathing that's 2 units under as well. We've got a boost from scenery that's near the station. We've got boosts from scenery that's around the rest of the track as well. We've got some scenery from some boosts from where it goes underground, etc, etc. So yeah, we've got the excitement up to 9.94. So we're only a tiny bit away from 10. Now, I'm not worried about that, because I'm pretty sure that all I need is a few interactions with some other rides later on in the game, and we'll get this over 10. So I'm quite excited by this. It's going to be a lot bigger challenge, but with the guide that I've been reading, it's a lot easier than if I was doing it without that. So I'll add a link to that in the description of the video, so be sure to check that out, because it really is good. And there's some great tables in there that show you the minimum drops that you need on certain coasters. And so if you want to build a coaster really quickly, just look at that and you'll see, all right, okay, it needs a minimum drop of, say, I don't know, 60 feet, and it needs 3 drops. And then you can build it in 5 minutes, test it, and you'll come back with decent excitement, rather than if you didn't have the drops and didn't have the minimum height, it would get a penalty. So it's really cool, and I can't recommend it high enough, and I'm going to be using it for the rest of this video. So hopefully this video will be a great advert for how good that guide is, because if I'm able to build all these coasters with 10 excitement, then surely it's done its job, and it's taught me quite a few things. So I'm going to crack on with the rest of the building. I've built a couple of profit coasters as well. So these are my cutback corkscrews. There's a tutorial in the tutorial section for those, so that's helping bring the cash in. Yeah, so quite excited by this. So I'm going to crack on with the building. I'll see you later. It is September year 3, so my new coaster is a quadruple track Mobius twister. So what I've done is I've gone for the top hat and inverted top hat design, a pair on each side, and then it's just a case of working out how to get it back to the station. So I've added in a lot of helixes because they add excitement. I've got that going through the loop there, so it adds excitement with the track going through the loop, and it adds excitement where there's track going through the loop. So it's a bit of a double whammy. So the loop gets bonus excitement for having a track inside it, and the track gets bonus excitement for having a loop around it, if that makes sense. Yeah, and similar just this side as well. So 8.63 excitement, that's pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the scenery and pathing and things like that, and I'm going to see how high I can get that. So I'm aiming for more than 10. We're going to see if we can do that. It is September year 4, so we've added a lot of pathing. So we've got pathing going over the stations, we've got pathing going next to it and adjacent, we've got pathing going, have we got any going under? No, none going under, but we've added water as well. That gives an excitement boost. We've added some little underground sections as well. So with the underground sections, it seems to work better if you've got so say for example, if you've got, how many have we got here? We've got let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 just in this little shot here. We've got 5. So it seems to work better if you have 5 single tile underground sections rather than one underground section that's 5 long. So yeah, so this excitement guide, brilliant. So I'm going to add the link below. You're going to love it. And this one, so bear in mind it was 8.63 before, 10.09 as well. There's also a slight bug as well, so let's try it. So we're going to toggle the speed so it goes back into test. Let's run it on fast forward. Let's see if it goes any higher, because sometimes it doesn't register when you put the pathing down. It doesn't quite register sometimes, so you have to retest it. And so it'll take a while for them all to cycle through the different tracks, but it will come back eventually. Now this is, oh there you go, 10.32. So that's boosted the excitement again by almost 0.3. So so that was cool. So I've got one here and I've got another quadruple track one over there. That's probably the last quadruple track I'm gonna go for, because what happens is the more drops you get, the higher your intensity gets as well. So with this one, it's got 18 drops because there's 4 different tracks. So so when you divide that 18 by 4, you know, you don't get, it's like less than 5. So a coaster with 5 drops isn't very high, but it's all added together, so you do get a penalty for that. So and some of the other coasters, like wooden coasters and things like that, the penalty gets a bit higher. So I've tried in the past to make a 4-track wooden coaster, and you have to do it fairly short, otherwise it doesn't work. So because the penalty is too great. So I'm going to crack on with the building then. I probably won't be showing you too many before and afters as well. So I just wanted to show you this one to show you how high we could get the excitement. So what was it? It was 8.63 before. It's 10.3 now. So we've raised that excitement now by what's that, 1.7. So I mean that's a huge amount just by adding some water, some pathing, some underground sections, etc, etc. So I'm going to crack on with the building. I'll see you soon. It is March year 6. I've been researching shops as well, so I've got a load of cash points down. That'll help with the guests, because that'll help us with the money anyway. So this is my racing mine train. So this one's Mobius. 10.1 excitement. So that's pretty cool. Some nice scenery along the tracks there. So it's a mid-course brake run, sort of disguised with the canvas, and we've got some like a castle there, entrance to the underground section, and we've added a few castle pieces then onto the station. Wrong one. And then we've added some scenery pieces then underneath the station to give us a boost as well. So all in all, it's given us quite a tidy result there. So it's 10.1. So we've now got 4 coasters in the park. Well, we've got more than that because I got a couple of some profit coasters down as well. I'll end up getting rid of those soon because we won't need them because we're making so much money from the big coasters. So we've got 4 coasters in the park now, not including the profit ones. We've got the pre-built one, and then we've got the Virginia Reel, the Twister, and these mine trains here. So we're all 3 of these ones then, all 3 that I've built are over 10 excitement. So yeah, we're doing well. I'm going to crack on now and let's see what else we can get over 10. It is August year 7 and we've got a Hyper Twister. So it's a twin track Mobius. So nice scenery boost, nice water boost there for it. When I was building the flat rides, I added this one underground. I raised the ground there because I figured I'd be building a roller coaster somewhere along here, and it was just an easy way of getting it to go underground. So good range of drops as well. Nice bit of scenery there. Some helixes, they give good excitement. little scenery as well. The mid-course brake run. Track goes under and over itself. Underneath, some scenery, a little head chopper element through the underground section, back over the water as well. There's different excitement bonuses for different heights above water, so it's all good excitement. There's trees as well, and then so over here then we've got pathing going over the track. We've got a good underground section as well for these. We've got a lot of scenery as well that we've used in order to try and maximize the bonus that you get from that. We've got path going underneath the track as well, so you get a bonus for that. So when I first built it, then it came back as 10.22, so that's good enough as far as I'm concerned. But we added the scenery and the pathing, we got it up to 10.76, so yet another win then. Yet another win. I'll take that. So let's crack on. Let's see what else we can build. It is June year 9, so we've got quite a few bonuses going on here. We've got the bonus for the track going around the station. We've got a bonus for track going through the loop. Bonus for a loop with track going through it. And then similar then for the pathing. So what I did with this one is initially I built it up with the first bit just coming down with the loops and then back around, and then after it went through the loops I could sort of see how the trains were in relation to each other. So that was when I then decided to go for the helix and then build the rest of the ride. So back to the bonuses then. So you get a bonus for the pathing going over the station, bonus for the pathing going through the loops. So I've sort of made like a viewing platform up here, because I think it'd be quite cool to have if you were in a park in real life, if you could sort of sit underneath the loops. I think that would be quite cool. Pathing going across the track at the back then to act as like a head chopper element. Scenery as well. We've got the helix here. We've got the scenery in the middle, like a head chopper element there as well. Some nice bends. I mean, the actual circuit, it's not that huge, to be honest. I mean, it's large enough that it passes the criteria for the scenario, but it's not that big considering, and there's a reason for that, and that was because of the drops, as I mentioned earlier. So 16 drops. As you can see, the intensity 9.93. so once it gets to 10, that's when the penalty starts kicking in, and it affects the excitement. So when I first built this then, it was 9.43. so with the excitement boosts then, it's taken up just under 11. So that's great. I'm more than happy with that. Nice little area up here. So we've got the underground sections, and we've got some scenery as well, so it's just to decorate it, make it look quite nice. I don't think this adds anything to the excitement, but I figured this high five element would look quite cool. It doesn't quite match up the scenery. It doesn't quite match up. The synchronization isn't quite there. But we've got some of these dips here to add a little bit of extra airtime, so you get a boost for that. Yeah, so I'm going to crack on with the building then. Let's see what else we can build. It is April year 10, so we've got a flawless coaster here out from the station. I'm going to loop 2 bits of track going through it, and then into the chain lift, and then when it goes down the chain lift, then we've got two large loops. Where's the train? It's stopped. Block brakes. 2 large loops. Then it goes down, got a cobra roll into a vertical drop then, and it goes underground. Nice sort of little build in there, so it gives you a bit of a boost there, and then back out then this side. Come on, let's run it on fast forward until it there you go. So it's gonna drop down now. So only the single track for this one, because with flawless coasters, they're so nice to build. They're very expensive coasters, so we don't use them as often as I'd like, but We got tons of cash now. Little twists, some helixes. Maybe a bit, one too many helix maybe, but we are going for the excitement boost. So it's a nice nice little figure of 8 through that loop there, and I like that. Back, interaction with the Virginia reel, so we'll have to check that out. Another one, and another one. It goes underneath the track, so we're gonna have to check out the Virginia reel in a bit, see if we've raised it up. We was just under 10. Nice nice section there, just crested, a little underground section there. And again, why not, innit? For good measure. And then back to the station. So when I first built it, it came back 10.16, and then we added then some scenery and some pathing and that sort of thing, and we got back 10.86. So that's great. So another win then. What about the Virginia reel? Oh, I think I said earlier that this was that the ones I built were over 10. They weren't. I lied. This one wasn't over 10 when we last saw it, but the interactions that we've added from the flawless, 10.16. So very happy. So now all of my all of my built coasters, the ones I've built, are over 10. The only one that's not over 10, the only ones that aren't over 10 are the junior coaster, the pre-built one. That's now up to 8.81. And any profit coasters that I've built that I will be getting rid of. So yeah, let's crack on. Let's see what other crazy things we can build. "11 years we've been playing this level, and I'm still having fun." So this is my new coaster. It's called Beetlejuice, mainly because of the color scheme that I gave it. So it's a vertical drop coaster, so it's got a nice nice section just after the station, just to wind it up until we get to the chain lift. And then we've got the very, very long chain lift. Let's fast forward, so I'm going to watch that. Oh, we can skip to the next car. So there you go. So you don't get lateral G's for the vertical twists, because it's just twisting round. It's not actually turning, if that makes sense. So all my nice sort of compact, neat coasters have gone out the window now, because we've had this sort of sprawling vertical drop coaster, getting in a few interactions, some loops here. Drop it underneath the path, underneath itself. Little underground section underneath the mine train. Some more helixes. And then back around. So at this point we're making so much money now that we can afford just to go crazy on these coasters. So instead of having to build a coaster, because we need to have them, was it just under 4,000 to 5,000 feet long, I can't remember exactly what it is. So instead of having a Mobius coaster where we get a couple of tracks that are a few thousand feet long, we can just get one that's huge. So let's have a look then. What have we got? It's 8,000. It's just under 9,000 feet long. Excitement 10.42. It was around 10.21 beforehand. I haven't toggled the speed actually, see if it'll go up any higher, but another win as far as I'm concerned. I'm very happy. So what are we, how many have we got now? I think that's our 8th coaster, including the junior, so we only need another 2. It is May year 12 and we've got a hyper coaster. So here's the station over here. So we've gone for like the sort of the Roman effect. We've got a lot of scenery there. We've got some helixes and things like that, and then the big chain lift then. So we got some scenery boost, a lot of dips and drops and ups and downs on this, because you get a good airtime boost, and airtime does add excitement on some coasters. So if you look at the excitement guide, it does tell you which ones. So all coasters can get airtime, but only some of them, it's around half of them, get an excitement boost from airtime. But you also get nausea as well from airtime. So all coasters get the nausea, but only around half of them get the airtime. So it is well worth looking at the guide just to see which coasters you should add airtime bumps and things like that on, because there's some of them, like for example Twisters, you don't get an airtime boost for it, bonus, so you might as well not try to minimize airtime on that. So that's something that is a bit counterintuitive, I suppose, but once you've got the guide and you look at it, it'll help you when you're building in future. So this one then, it was 9.34 before I started adding all the extras. 10.13, so another win then. So this is coaster number 9. Let's check out coaster number 10, and you can probably guess what type of coaster I'm going to build next. It is March year 13. This is probably the longest I've played any scenario, I'd imagine. Possibly Gravity Gardens was around this long as well, but yeah, but I've had a lot of fun doing these. So anyone who said Reverser or Wild Mouse, you were wrong. It is a Giga coaster, quite obvious, because they're probably the easiest coasters to build when you've got lots of money and you're going for an exciting coaster, and they are probably the easiest coaster to get a high excitement on as well. So as you can see, the mechanic's doing a bit of a dance. We've got him zoned right next to the exit for that. So we're just waiting for the train to fill up and the other train to clear the block section for it to leave. So this one then, when I first built it, it came back 10.71, so it was already high excitement. We added some scenery and some pathing and all that sort of thing. Came back 11.17, so very happy with that. So it comes out, a few twists and turns, helixes, get a good quick excitement boost from that. Over water as well, different altitudes above water, so we're getting a good one there. Let's turn it, put it on pause. Let's go underground and click on the train. Click that, and then we can click to follow. So there's a bit of an underground boost section going on. So shoots it up. Let's get the airtime, because this one does get an airtime bonus. And yeah, so we're just going all the way around some underground sections there, through the loops on the vertical coaster. Again, more airtime interactions with the other rides. Through another one of the vertical drop coaster loops, over the Virginia Reel. Brake run and back to the station. So happy with that. 11 point something for the excitement, so that's cool. So that's all 10 coasters built, but we haven't passed the scenario yet, because I've put the junior coaster into test. That way then, I've toggled the speed, because when I normally do this, I put it into I switch it down, I switch it off, and then I put it into construction mode, and I delete the piece, and then I put it back, and then I realized then, why didn't I just toggle the chain lift speed, because that puts it back into test mode. So I've done that, and that's a much easier way of doing it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save the game, just in case we get any issues with the video and the sound going out of sync, and then when we come back, we'll run the junior coaster on test. That'll come back higher than the game once. It'll register that we've got 10 coasters higher than 7. So we've actually got this junior coaster that's 8 point something. It's almost 9 by now, I think. And then all my coasters then, they're 10 plus. So we're going to save it, and then when we come back, we're going to pass the scenario. Right then, let's open up the junior coaster. We'll run it on test. We'll run it on fast forward because it's going to take a while, because all the trains are going to need to cycle through all the stations. And it's quite a long coaster. So 6 trains as well. And then we're going to pass the scenario. But it's not going to end there, because I've already thought of something. At this moment, when we pass the scenario, we're going to have one coaster which is somewhere almost 9, I think this junior coaster will be, and then we're going to have another 9 coasters that I've built that are over 10 excitement. So there's something not quite right about that. So what I'm going to do then is, after we've passed the scenario, I'm going to keep on playing, and I'm going to get this junior coaster over 10 excitement as well. That way we'll end up with 10 coasters in the park with 10 excitement, and I think that'll be pretty cool, and that'll be a great advert for the excitement guide, because it really is a fantastic piece of work, and it will make your roller coaster building a lot easier once you've got the sort of the knowledge from the guide. So there you go, 8.93. Let's open it up. The game will recognize that we've got 10 coasters over 7. Pass the scenario. Stew! Fantastic. But as I said, it doesn't end there. So this coaster now, it was 8.23 when we came in on the scenario. We've managed to get it up to 8.93 simply by adding ride interactions. We've also altered the profile of the ride slightly as well. Let's see if I can find, I think it was over by the Twister, if I can find where that was. That somewhere over here, I think we altered it slightly, so I don't know if that's made it more exciting or less exciting, I don't know, but we have altered it slightly. So what I'm going to do now is I need to get an extra 1.07 worth of excitement out of this coaster to get this up to 10. That way we'll have 10 coasters with 10 plus excitement, and I think then we can call this scenario complete. Then I think I'll be very happy if we can do that. So I'm going to crack on with the building then, and when we come back, hopefully we'll have 10 coasters above 10. If not, I'll be a little red-faced, and it'll be slightly awkward, but yeah, I'll see you in a bit. It is June year 15, and I've managed to get the junior coaster up and over 10. So let's have a look. Let's see if we can pick up this train here. Which one is it? No. See if we can pick this train up, and then what we'll do is we'll follow it round, and then I can sort of highlight some of the things I've done to try and boost the excitement. So I've raised the ground here so the train goes around it, so you get a little boost from that. One thing I did do was when I was adding bits, I added a bit too many drops, and it came back extreme intensity. So when I started over, then I got rid of some of the drops, replaced some of the drops with helixes and things like that. So we've got an underground section, we've got a helix going around some scenery, so there's loads of helixes on there because you get excitement. These little staggered, if I pause it there, hopefully it'll show when I get the, there you go, you can see on the vertical G's, so it's going up and down like that. So each one of those gives you a little bit of airtime, and then add them all together, and then that gives you throughout the ride 14.34 seconds of airtime. When I managed to get the coaster up to, I think it was about 9.91, and then I added another little bit of airtime, another one of those, and that got me up to the 10.01 that it's on now. I extended the stations, so I extended all 4 stations, because you do get more excitement for having longer trains. So that was another little boost that we got. So there's another one of these little airtime sections. So this is the one I changed at the end. I think for every 24 seconds of airtime you get one excitement point. So to get it from 9.91 up to just over 10, and I mean that's I'm not even going to work out but it's a very, very small fraction of a second. So the problem with this is that retesting it was a pain. I've lost the train. Where did it go? Where did it go? Did it go into the station? Is that it there? Never mind, we'll pick this one up now in case it's not the same one. So there's another section I added. So it comes up the chain lift here. There's a little booster section there just to get it a bit faster, and then it goes through the first loop there, and then another airtime drop, and then through the second loop there. Now this whole drop, that only counts as one drop, even though it's sort of got that sort of staggered effect. A little break there because it was going too fast before, so it was very intense. It had some high lateral G's, so that break just slows it down enough, and then it takes it back up to the next chain lift. So these 3 more underground sections there. I think if it hadn't gone over the 10, I would have replaced this drop here with another one of those airtime drops, because Junior Coaster is one of the coasters that does benefit from airtime. So there's a booster there, and then again airtime going up. Now this little section here, if I put scenery off, so you've got paths, a strip of paths, 1, 2 below the ride and 1, 2 above the ride. Now what they discovered as well is that you get a boost for paths, but if you look in the path section, there's 2 different types of paths. So you've got this one here that's selected now is called slot 0, and then these ones then are slot, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, whatever. So slot 0 is counted as a completely different type of path. So on this map, slot 0 is the tarmac. On a different map it might be something else. So on this one you're going to get a bonus for the tarmac, and you're going to get a bonus for whatever other paths that you put underneath or above as well, and scenery as well. But we've probably already maxed out the scenery, but I've added the scenery just to hide the paths to make it look a little bit nicer. Some water there, some more airtime hills, and then we got some underground sections here. A little more airtime going up. Another one here. Little booster, little underground section, another couple of underground sections as well. So trying to maximize those, and then we've lost it. So then another water section there, another water section here, and then just over here then I've got a path. So if I turn the scenery off, so a path there as a head chopper, so it's right above the track, and then I've just added some scenery then to try and make it look a little bit nicer. There's another one there, and another 2 there, another one there, a little bit of water as well. I've added a seating area 2 tiles above the station, so that'll help with the pathing as well. Little underground section. I added the trees didn't do anything, so I knew then because the trees didn't add anything, we must have already maximized the scenery boost, and that's and that was that. So that was 10.01. so that's taken, that means now we've got 10 coasters in the park, and all of them have an excitement of over 10. So yeah, this has been I'm quite exhausted actually. This has been fun doing this. It's been fun having a play about with it. I mean, I couldn't have done it without the excitement guide. So again, big thank you to Marcel for putting that together. I'll link to that below on the description for the video, so it's well worth you having a read of that, because I do get a lot of questions about how to add excitement and things like that, and to be honest, is the best thing you could do is just read that guide, because that'll tell you everything you need to know. And I've tried to use some of the tips and tricks in that guide in this video. I've probably missed out quite a few of them, but and I've tried to explain them as well, but the guide will be, it's like I suppose an excitement bible for the game, and it will be very, very useful for everyone. So that was Nevermore Park then. 10 coasters, over 10 excitement. The game only wanted 7, but we pushed the boat out on this. We've only got a few videos until we complete the game, so I wanted to do something, because these levels now, I mean, we've played so many, we've built so many coasters at these levels, we can knock these off pretty quickly. But so I wanted to do something a little bit more challenging, and I'm really happy that we managed to pull it off. So this was Nevermore Park. I am Stu. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.